Proverbs 27:17 says, iron sharpens iron, and one man sharpens another. You're looking behind me at a place where I spent, thousands of hours as a teenager. This is the big field, we called it. And I'm standing near these stands, which look like they might be the same ones from 1982, back when I used to be here. There was a guy who sat in these stands over and over in order to help me. See, I wanted to become, I was a decent baseball player, but I was a really good umpire. And so I wanted to become a higher level umpire. I wanted to umpire maybe at the coach or pro level. And so as a teenager, I asked a friend of mine who was he was like a minor league baseball umpire, so up a pretty high ranking as far as umps go. I asked him if he would coach me a little bit on umpiring. And so I remember Keith Schartzer would sit in these stands and he would come out to my game. We'd coordinate and I would tell him, hey man, I'm umping this Tuesday night, and I'd be halfway through a game and then I'd see Keith sitting in the stands. And what he would do is he would walk, he'd come down out of the stands in between innings, he'd come up to the fence and he would give me feedback. Or if I was out on the bases, if I was the field ump, he'd walk down to that fence right there and I'd come meet him in between innings and he would give me feedback. One of the things he would do, I remember so vividly, he would sit up here in the stands and I would look and catch his eyes and he would be doing this. And what he meant was timing. Slow down. Have you ever been to a Little League baseball game and you've seen the umpire, kid comes in, slides, and the umpire goes out, and then the ball rolls out, and the umpire goes, no, safe, and he makes two calls. It's one of the cardinal sins of umpiring. And Keith would say, look, you're in no hurry. You just wait. Watch the play patiently. And if you ever watch a pro baseball game, you'll see that play at the plate, slide, bang, bang, and the ump will look at the catcher, see the ball, wait a minute, and go, out. Like he just takes his time. And I remember 100 times Keith would be like, slow down, slow down. Now, why do I tell you that story and how does it relate to Proverbs 27:17? Well, on one level, it's real obvious. I want to be a better umpire. Keith was a better umpire, so he sharpened me. Iron sharpens iron. Got it. On another level, there's a little more to it. And what I mean by that is he had the willingness to help me. He was a busy guy, he had a wife, he had kids, he had a job, but he came out to help me anyway. And I had a willingness to listen. I was willing to let him give me that feedback because I had such a desire to improve that I wanted to get that feedback. As a dad and as a husband, what does this mean for us? Well, that leads us right to this week's mission. So Dad, the question for us as fathers and as husbands, who's sitting in the stands for you? Who's in the stands telling you, hey man, you did this one really well, nice work. On this one, probably could have done that differently. Do you ever let your wife sit up in these stands? Do you ever let your wife tell you, you were kind of angry with the kids today. What's going on? Well, you're not perfect either. Is that your reaction? Or do you let your own older children, my older children, one of them told me, Dad, I know you're trying to help, but everything you're doing on this is making it worse. There's been moments where my older kids have been that guy in the stands. And then there's been literally dozens, maybe 100 men in my life over the last 30 years who have sat in these stands metaphorically and have given me feedback. Dad, your mission this week is who do you have in the stands helping you? Go thank them. Whoever they are, go thank them. Send them a text, shoot them a card. Thank whoever's sitting in your stands. Now, if you think of the stands and they seem as empty as this one, where you go, man, there's nobody sitting here, and there's nobody sitting there in your life, go find them. So if you've got them, go thank them. If you don't got them, go find them. Because here's the deal. They probably are there and they're willing to be in the stands for you if only you would ask. This week, go ask someone to sit in the stands and help you grow as a man, husband, father. Do it because you're not a father on accident. So go be a father on purpose.